Hello, how you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi, one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, and I am here with another episode of the Drop Mentorship, where either Casey or myself, Casey being the another co-founder of Pre-PT Grind, either Casey or myself come live into this group and talk to you as a pre-PT and just give you what's on our mind, the value that we have to offer for tonight. And today's topic is going to be a pretty interesting one. Really, it's one that has been on my mind since Saturday. I heard someone said something when I was, over the weekend that caught my attention. And really based on that, it just kind of led me going down a few thought processes and just pretty much to where we are right now. And so what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is not dying rich. Don't die rich. If you're a pre-PT, you want to listen to this. If you are a pre-PT that knows another pre-PT that could use this, you will also want to make sure you tag them or find them and make sure that they tune in. So we have Shanahan, we have Sarah, we have Melissa, we have Mr. Patel, we have, oh wow, a lot of Patels. I like it. All right, great to see you all tonight. If you are Team Live, please let me know you are here. If you are Team Replay, also let me know that you are here, just so we're aware of who's hopping on. That's really it. And so tonight's story starts out on Saturday. There was a gentleman that was speaking, and I was listening to him, and he was really talking about, like, honestly, I don't quite remember what he was talking about, because at this point he actually lost me for a split second. And I could think of no other group than you as pre-PTs. Courtney, good to see you. Jen's, good to see you. And he said our grave sites are getting wealthier by the day. Now, that was an interesting statement to me, mainly because it's not something you just say casually. Earlier this year, I lost my grandfather, so anything regarding death wasn't really something I wanted to visit. But then as I thought about it further, it made a lot of sense. I was like, this is exactly what pre-PTs need to hear. This is exactly what pre-physical therapy students need to hear, because that's what we're doing to ourselves when we don't pursue the dream, that which is physical therapy. So let me explain. Not dying rich. What does it mean? Not dying rich means, well, if I'm a pre-physical therapy student and I have a desire to serve through physical therapy, I have a desire to be a physical therapist, I have a desire to make that my profession, well, the honest truth is I'm also stating that I have a certain amount of potential. And every big change, this is why Casey and I invest so much into US pre-PTs, because you are the change agent for our profession. And really, a lot of the things that will happen down the line are going to be because of you. And so there's a lot of untapped potential. Out of this group with 3.5 thousand people in here, there's a lot of potential, because everything ranging from the future, the next person to push whatever other avenue of physical therapy, period, in our profession is probably in this group. The next person to completely eradicate how we're doing everything, the old school way of doing everything, you're going to be the one to push it forward. The way we're using technology to serve people, you're going to push it forward. Things that we haven't even thought about, you're going to push it forward, but the potential lies inside of you already. So it's the same way, the same people that are making movements right now, whether it's myself and Casey trying to serve you guys, whether it's Greg Todd trying to serve, physical therapists, PT students, and pre-PTs, whoever it is, there is a lot of potential which pretty much means that there's a lot of good things that will happen if you follow through with where you're supposed to be in the first place. And if being a physical therapist is it, then really, if you don't follow through with it, whether it's because somebody told you that it's not a fit for you, whether it's because a faculty member told you shouldn't do it, whether it's because a friend of yours told you shouldn't do it, whether it was yourself who told yourself you shouldn't do it, really, at that point, you're taking something with you that will never bless people. In other words, you will die rich. Because all the potential that you possess right now is valuable to so many other people. I don't care if it's monetary. I don't care if it's health-wise. I don't care if it's influence. But what you have to offer is worth so much that if you don't offer it by cutting yourself short, you will be potentially just setting yourself up to die rich. And really, when this person was telling me this weekend, when he was like, hey man, like there's a lot of people, our grave sites are getting even more wealthy. What he was saying was there's a lot of untapped potential in people that have passed already. People that just never had the chance or never pushed themselves to realize their dreams. People that never acted on the things that they were scared of. Anissa Bell, how are you doing? People that never pushed themselves, took the step, took the leap towards what they wanted, basically because they were afraid. Basically because other people got in the way. Basically because they got in their own way. And that's the main issue right now that we're trying to solve for you as pre-PTs. We want to make sure that as you're going down this journey towards becoming a physical therapist, you're not giving yourself the option to be like that. You're not giving yourself the option to have to ultimately die rich. You're not giving yourself the option to leave your untapped potential to the side and never have anyone experience that which you have been empowered and what you have been meant to give and serve as a physical therapist. And I know right now it's very hard to see because right now what's in the way is the application. What's in the way is your semester. What's in the way is the classes you're taking. What's in the way is your GRE. What's in the way is the interview that you have next week or tomorrow morning. What's in the way is the things that you're, looking forward to. What's in the way is maybe applying next cycle. What's in the way is maybe you didn't get accepted. And you're struggling. You're trying to figure out, like, do I really want to do this again? Do I want to put myself through the process of having to apply again? Do I want to put myself through the process of having to retake classes again? Well, honestly, you have untapped potential. And that potential will only be realized in the direction that it was meant to be realized. And for you, if it's physical therapy, then we just need to figure out a way to get you in. That's it. But the honest truth is, and I will preach this until I can't talk anymore to pre-PTs, until I can't, I talk a lot anyway, but I will continue to preach this because I honestly believe that we cut ourselves short far too quickly because of a lot of things that just really we weren't prepared for. Most people aren't prepared to get rejected. Most people aren't prepared to do bad on their GRE. Most people aren't prepared to have to switch career paths. I brought in Robin the other day, and a lot of people in here were resonating with that, saying, wow, I'm a non-traditional student. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I was isolated. I felt like I was alone. I felt like this probably wasn't for me anymore. Not realizing that was just untapped potential. And it really becomes a choice. It becomes a choice of, what do I want? Would I rather take the route of least resistance, where I can predict what my achievements are going to be, where I can easily predict that, well, okay, if PT doesn't work, I can go do this profession. I can go do this because I already know I have the skills for it. I can go do this because I know I can get that degree in a year. I can do this because I know it'll pay me well. It's not what I really want to do, but it does. It'll do. I almost did that with medicine. And as I shared before, it really took for me a conversation with a physician that made it very clear that for the things that I was looking for the things that I was trying to do with my career, he was like, man, Joseph, you can't be a doctor like me. The lifestyle you want, you can't really be a physician like me. It doesn't match up to what you're looking for. And as you're pursuing this profession of physical therapy, now, honestly, search and figure out if this is for you. Because if it is, then you have no choice but to strap down. You have no choice but to do whatever it takes, whatever it absolutely takes to get accepted into PT school. And we're making that easy for you with pre-PT ground. We're making that very easy for you with what we're providing here, with this group that you have in here. But use all of it. Use the people that are in this group. If you see people that are, answering a lot of questions or are pretty engaged or maybe just got accepted, talk to them. Reach out to them. Start conversations with them. Figure out what they did. That's how I got in. I just figured out what other people that were just about 2 years ahead of me were doing. But even in the moments that I wanted to pull the plug, if Joseph today could go back to that Joseph now, this is the conversation I would have with him. I would show him the potential he had to impact a lot of pre-physical therapy students in the United States and outside of the US, along with Casey. I would show him the potential he had or he would have to impact the community of, this area of Tampa, Florida. His patients, his peers, his classmates. But that would have been nothing but untapped potential that would have been sitting in a box had I chosen a completely different route. Sitting in a box had I chosen not to go with what I wanted. Sitting in a box had I chosen to not go with what my calling was. My calling was physical therapy. And if your calling is physical therapy, then embrace it. Embrace it, and that should be encouraging because I want you to embrace it even when it feels impossible. I want you to embrace it even when it feels like, this might not be the move anymore. We're going to be bringing in a lot of students that have gotten, recently accepted and have gone through our accepted system and all of that pretty soon. But I want you to just be encouraged and understand that regardless of where you're at in your journey, there is still, that potential is still to be realized. It was planted inside of you for a reason. The experiences that you've had already have been designed for a reason. Jessica, you got it. The experiences that you are going, everything, the fears, the anxieties, the frustration, it's all for a reason. Honestly, sometimes I look towards, I look back and I realize, man, if I wasn't if I didn't have all my anxieties, I couldn't have some of the conversations I'm having with some of you guys. I struggled with a lot of anxieties. Sometimes I still do. I think my stage presence confuses people sometimes because I have a very confident persona. I can present well. I can talk well with my patients. This is how I am. But internally, I'm I've struggled with a lot of anxiety. I've struggled with a lot of just overthinking and just being overly I shut down sometimes to the point where I've had to train myself, but really even earlier this year, there was times I would shut down when I didn't feel like I was capable of the direction I was going in. The first time we started this group, I was anxious. I couldn't sleep for 2 nights. And that's when it was 20 people in this group. Now we got 3.4 thousand. Untapped potential. We all have untapped potential. And I'm not saying that to just make this a very feel-good kind of conversation. It really shouldn't be. This should be a wake-up call where you realize that the journey you're on right now is yours and yours alone. Don't let anyone try to take it from you. Don't let somebody that has gone a different path or someone that has gone down an easier direction, someone that has maybe gotten into PT school on their first try and it was a piece of cake and they're making you feel like crap. Don't let your faculty members that are trying to tell you what you should do or shouldn't do based on what they might have read in a book or on a website. Don't let family members try to impart what they think you should be doing for your career because their passion is not your passion and your passion is not their passion. And so out of respect, you still want to pursue this for you. Because that conversation I had with that gentleman who was talking about the graveyards that get wealthier by the minute, they get wealthier by the day. It's the same thing with physical therapy. There are pre-PTs that will, unfortunately, hold themselves short of ever getting to their goal. Not because they were not capable of it, but because they chose not to keep fighting. Not because they're not capable of it, but because somebody else stepped in and deceived them or fed them incorrectly that they were not going to achieve it. And because of that, those pre-PTs will die rich. We won't be able to benefit from whatever value they had to share in this profession. Some patients that they would have been treating won't ever experience that. Their peers that would have been inspired by them may never, ever see that. But if you're listening to this, please don't let that be you. Please don't let that be you. If you're stuck, there's solutions. Honestly, if you want to talk, just send us a message, contact preptgrind.com. But there's solutions. There's solutions. Just know that as a pre-PT, this is like you're in one of the most amazing professions, period. One of the most amazing professions, period. 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 I don't care if you're non-traditional. I don't care if you're coming straight from your third year of college. I don't care if you're in high school and you're starting to listen to this. Period. Best profession there is. For a lot of reasons. But the honest truth is, if this is the route that you've decided is for you, this is your calling, don't let the untapped potential go to waste. Because if it does, there's a lot of people that won't value or won't be able to experience the value that you've been designed to really share with all of us. If I didn't push myself, if Casey didn't push himself, we're not having this conversation. I still get nervous before doing the live stream. You know what I mean? Like, I still get nervous. I've done over 700 of them. I still get nervous before doing one. Because I know that we're dealing with real lives. We're dealing with real experiences. We're dealing with real anxieties, real fears. And in understanding that, I also know the value of having this conversation. I know the value of still pushing through that and making sure that as a pre-PT, you're fighting for what you want and figuring it out by asking the right people. If it's talking to us, great. If it's talking with other people in this group, fantastic. If it's talking to someone that is local, that knows exactly how to get you to that point, well, fantastic. But don't let that untapped potential just sit there. Don't let it. Don't let it. You'll be doing a lot of people a great disservice by doing that. And that's why Casey and I can't ever stop. Because if you feel stuck, we got to make sure we're there long enough to see you get your DPT. But if this is what you're signing up for, then let's freaking get it. Let's freaking get it. And that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. That's it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either myself or us at contactpreptgrind.com. But that's it. That's it. And I'm really proud for I'm really proud of each and every one of you that has continued to push themselves, has continued to fight regardless of what the answers you're getting. I've had students tell me, man, I got a rejection, but I'm still going. I'm still locked in. That's all I want to see. I want to see y'all fight for this thing. Because the ones that fight the longest always win in the long run. And as we close out, this live stream, we know that this Friday is Black Friday. And we're going to be talking about this all week. But for Black Friday, we want to do something special for you guys. And we're going to have a few things that will just be like discounted for y'all if you guys want access to them. And really, all we're asking for is just to share your experience. So if you go to our Pre-PT Grind page, share your experience. If we've helped you in any way, just give us a review there and just share with other people so other pre-PTs can be inspired. If you've listened to our podcast, go in there, share your experience so that other pre-PTs can be inspired. And then after you've done that, send us a message and say, hey, I want to figure out what you guys are doing for the Black Friday stuff, and we'll hook you up. But ultimately tonight, what I want you guys to understand is that you all have some ridiculously amazing potential. Don't let it go untouched. Don't lock it up in a box. Don't die rich.